Life's best moments are best captured by photography and video. You may ask, why photography and video? Because if a photo is worth 1,000 words, video is worth 1,000,000. And GPS photography and video will leave you speechless. GPS specializes in weddings, sports, fitness, and so much more. Book your next shoot today at 910-257-0526 or gpsphotoandvideo.com.
Welcome to the Amazon's podcast. I'm Glenn Young, owner of Amazon's Fitness Magazine. The podcast is brought to you by Maximus Posing Suits, our title sponsor. Let your inner warrior shine. Custom competition suits for victory on every stage. MaximusPosingSuits.com. And of course, me, GPS photography and video. Why photography and video? Because a photo is worth 1,000 words. Video is worth 1,000,000. GPS photo and video.com. And joining me is the owner of Maximus Posing Suits, new IFBB Women's Bodybuilder Pro last year, and she's getting ready for the Triple O Dynasty, the owner of Maximus Posing Suits, Michele Bogden.
Thanks for having me. I'm great.
You know, I could definitely say the same thing. Thanks for having me. It's so ironic that you sponsor us, and that's great. And last time we talked, I think it was on Instagram Live. So a lot has happened since then. So tell me what's been going on.
Well, since the last time we did an interview, I got my pro card and just been getting ready for my pro debut here next week.
So what made you choose the Triple O Dynasty?
Well, it's the first show of the year. So it gives me an early show to see where I fall in, what I need to work on, and be able to come back, later in the year in the fall, as well as it's also the inaugural show for its show. So why not make the pro debut a memorable one and do, the first of its kind? So
Whitney Jones, Sid Gillian, and of course Andrea Shaw. So couldn't open up a better way than that.
Absolutely.
And what's ironic is what started out as now I'm gonna do the Triple O Dynasty is become a family affair because your brother as well as your husband is doing this show. How did all that work out?
Well, they wanted to do a show. My husband has been on and off training for one the last couple of years, and the military has always kind of gotten in the way and during his last little bit of prep. So this year he said, I want to do a show. And then when I picked this one, I asked him, I said, well, why don't you do this one with me? It'll be your first show, my pro debut. We can do it together. And my brother was like, I want to do a show too. So we all jumped in together and we're all doing it together. And I have a videographer coming with us to document the whole thing. And it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah.
So big time family support. Who will hit the stage first?
My husband will actually hit the stage first, then my brother, and then me.
So he's competing in classic physique?
Yep, my husband's doing classic, my brother's doing physique, and then, of course, me and bodybuilding.
Yeah, you're the prime show, for sure. Well, that's great. Hopefully, if they've got a trophy for most number of family members competing on stage at once, I got to think you're in the running.
That would be great.
So what a lot of people don't know, or maybe they don't remember, you are a soldier.
Yes.
And so you're actually separated from your husband because he is in Montana.
Yep.
And you're in Utah.
Yep.
Tell us about what you do as much as you can, that is, for the military.
So I'm my MOS is an infantry officer, but I'm a logistics officer for the 19 Special Forces. I've been with them since 2021. And it's probably one of the best units. I get to jump out of a plane and do all sorts of really neat things and go to neat places. So it's an amazing opportunity with them.
So you're a logistics officer, but you're also an airborne status. So you got
Yeah,
to stay
I'm an
current.
infantry officer first, but yeah, and then
Yeah.
a logistics officer. Yeah,
So you got to stay current to get your jump pay. Yes.
sure do. Yep.
So how many jumps do you have?
Uh, Probably close to 20, maybe a little more. I don't
Okay.
know off the top of my head.
Do you have any plans to go to jump master school?
If they want me to go.
And I say that because I'm retired 82nd Airborne Division,
Yep.
and I broke my back on Sicily drop zone, and I had a
Oh,
jump master pretest slip in my back pocket, so it never materialized for me. But
oh,
yeah, but I definitely can relate to everything that you're going through in reference to that. But I would ask this: how do you match when you're in prep and being on jump status? And everything that you do in the military, because that's a different type of PT, and then you get injured jumping out the plane, obviously, or exiting a high performance aircraft, not jumping because we don't jump, we exit.
yep. Yeah, oh
How do
yeah.
you patch all that in?
Uh, Very carefully. I mean, I plan when as much of it as I can. I mean, I can't say no, I'm not going to jump. So I jump when we
No,
get the
can't do that.
opportunity to jump, so I don't get um, pay taken away. But uh, very very carefully. So I mean, I just pray I don't get hurt every time I jump and every time I take a PT test, because the new PT test, people do get injured on it.
Hmm.
But I just am as careful as I can when I do it, and I train as much for the competition as I can, but I also do extra um, to stay fit for the military too. So
Right. Very important. And like I said, yeah, you're right. The PT chest has changed, where in my time it was simple
it was
set
just
up, push
the
ups,
run,
and
push ups,
2 mile
and sit
run.
ups. It's not
Yeah.
anymore.
What do y'all do now? What's
Now
changed?
it is a deadlift, an
Hmm.
overhead ball throw, hand release push ups, a sprint, drag, carry, sprint, a plank, and then a 2 mile run.
Wow. And all within what? Still 2 hours?
You have to be completed within 2 hours.
So how much is the deadlift? Does it start out in the gym and then y'all go outside?
It
What's
can
all
all be
in?
done outside.
Okay.
I mean, if there's an indoor facility, you can do it all indoors. Uh, but yeah, you can set it all up outside, which is usually what we do. We
Hmm.
just set up different weights across the field for the people that want to go and do their different weights, or because I mean, men and women's maxes are different. So
Right.
um, yeah, so we
So
just set up
what's
the weights so
passing?
they can go do. What's what?
What's passing for a deadlift, for example?
A passing, I think, is 180, 145, 180, somewhere around there. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't do the minimum, so I
Yeah.
go do my
Oh, of course. You're gonna
255
give it
and
back.
I'm done.
Do you find with bodybuilding that that's easier or not? Because that's a different type of training. Um,
Honestly, I think it did make it easier. So when I went over the infantry, being competitive in bodybuilding,
mhm.
it helped me keep up with the guys, and I made sure I met all the men's standard because I was the only female. And if I'm going to tell a guy that he's failing a PT test, I better be able to pass his test, is my thought. So I
Mhm.
made sure I passed all their standards at least with an 80 in every event. So
So you mentioned you are an infantry officer.
yep,
Do you catch a lot of flack with that, or it's like, or you just generally accept it?
I'm pretty accepted. Yeah, I think as long as you're doing your job and you're pulling your own weight, there's really no issues. So
Got you. And what's your rank?
I'm a major.
Nice. So how many do you have in your unit that fall under you in your section or
So I'm at like the group level. So
okay.
my section is like 15 people. It's really not huge. So
And it's important to know you're in an SF unit, the 19th. So I mean, that's special all in itself because it is a very distinctive unit. All
it
of them
is.
are
It was great.
as
I
well.
I
So
They brought me over to be. I was a commander for the First Battalion headquarters company for 2 years. So and then I went over to the group side. So yeah.
so did you always want to be in infantry, or Was this just something that fell open to you, or
No,
what challenges did you have to meet?
I commissioned, so I enlisted as a medic, and then I
Mm-hmm.
commissioned on the AMED side, so I was med ops, and then I got logistics qualified because I could carry that as an AMED officer, and then in 2017, our 2-star, while I was still in Montana, asked me if I would go over the infantry. I said, let's see what I need to do, and the next day I was assigned to the unit and scheduled to go to the 6-month school for it. So.
Well, that's great. You got a varied background, um, being in the military and doing what you're doing, and then of course being in a specialized unit. So that's pretty unique. I don't think people understand. And then of course being airborne as well, which is a big plus, And I know that is no joke when you're coming out of that airplane. Now the new parachute is out now for what I had. I had a T10, 1030. What do you jump with now?
We use an MC6. So they're
MC6.
steerable. Yeah. You don't have to. You don't have to do this to turn.
You don't. Wow. Is it a softer landing or no?
A little bit. Yeah. I mean, you're not having to like pull yourself up. You still PLF, but you can use your toggles and still turn this way or however you're landing. But
right side.
You don't have to climb up the part of the chute. So
yeah, well, that's a plus. It looks like a big old mushroom. So if it's soft landing, then that's a good thing. And a lot of what we're talking about, people don't understand. But yeah,
no, I come down I come down a lot slower than most of the people. So my landings are usually okay. Once in a while, I get a hard landing, but
nice. Yeah, with the winds, there's nothing you can do.
No.
Too much. So the Triple O Dynasty, you chose it because it's the first show of the year. What are your expectations going into next week? Next week is peak week.
Oh, just honestly, I have no major expectations for the show. I just, want to come in the best I can. It's me against me for my first show. Hope if I place top in the top couple, that's great. If I don't, I know what I need to work on. So.
And it's like I said, it's perennial first show of the year, and you jump right in.
Yeah.
Is this the only show that you're planning on doing?
No, I've got the Van Island show up in Victoria on the 20th of April, so 2 weeks after. And then I'm planning on applying for Rising Phoenix after I have some photos from Triple O. And then I'm looking at the Anaheim show as well in September.
Okay. So you got it all planned out. Toronto, Victoria, Canada. So
Victoria, so it's Victoria Island.
On 20 April.
Yep.
So that's what, 2 weeks apart?
Yep. It's perfect.
Well, that's great because you jump right into it. So you're not really looking. Well, you always go in to win, but you never know what can happen either. So
absolutely.
Even though this being your inaugural year as a pro, you just never know. But that's why you plan and build around it. I'm loving the tank that you're wearing, loving your sponsorship of us, of the Amazon podcast. So that's great. So you are in Utah.
Yes.
Your husband's in Montana. How often do you get home?
I go home about at least once a month. I try twice. And he comes up here for drill because he's in the unit too. So he comes up at least once a month for drill too.
And both y'all been in the military. What does he do?
He's also an infantry officer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's airborne as well?
Not yet. He hasn't been to school yet.
You married to a leg? Are you kidding me? Well, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
So how did y'all meet? You have 2 girls, as you said. Tell me a little bit about the family aspect.
Let's see here. So we met in college in 2005.
Okay.
And so we've been together 19 years.
Wow.
Married. What was that?
Where'd you go to school at?
University of Montana in Missoula.
Okay.
And then, yeah, we got married
Great
in
football
2000.
team.
Yes, it is great. Go Grizz. Got married in 2008. And then, let's see here, we've got our two girls. They're 10 and 8. And they are huge supporters of competing and working out and everything else too. So
Right.
the girls will come in and work out with us. When I go do posing practice, they'll come in and pose with me. So once in a while, I'll post a picture of me and them posing together. But they love going to the shows. I think they like trophies more than I do. So, but
You think they'll go into bodybuilding?
I think they'll maybe try it. I won't force it. So it's something they got to choose. But they absolutely love doing it. But,
Like I said, this is great that you got a whole family affair going on with your husband and your brother doing the show. Do you all have the same coach? Talk to me about who's your coach and whatnot.
so my coach is Eric Brozer.
Okay.
This will be my first show with him. Um, my coach that I went pro with, Brent Swanson, absolutely amazing coach.
Mhm.
My brother and my husband are being coached by him.
Okay.
So yeah,
So you are also both you all own a gym. What's the name of
yeah,
your gym?
it's Premier Fitness in
Okay.
Helena. Yep.
They're in Montana. And I think you said he was doing a class tonight.
Yeah, he was teaching. Yeah, he's teaching class right now.
Okay. So do you both coach?
Yep, we both coach.
Okay.
So I do.
So
I do
talk
a
to
lot more online coaching right now with me
right.
being up here. So probably after October, I'll start doing more in
More
person.
resident stuff. Yeah. Which do you like better? Online or in person?
I like both. I mean, they both have their pros and cons. In person, I can keep people on task a little bit more and make sure they're doing stuff.
Right.
Online, I can coach more people. So
Now you have more lifestyle clients or those that compete?
I've got a handful that compete, but mostly lifestyle.
I got you.
And I
So
love working with them because especially the ones that really want to truly, make that transformation. I absolutely love working with them because they follow the directions that you give them for the most part, and don't try to cheat their way around it.
yeah. Well, you have an amazing story. And ironically, my drill sergeant, believe me, that was for ages ago. But he was from Montana. And he'd always come out and scream Montana, and we were supposed to answer back the peak. So I know it's beautiful country out there and
It
everything.
is very,
So
very good.
do you see yourself moving inward, or you think you love being out there in the great wilderness?
Love Montana. Yeah, yeah. I think I'll stay there for probably the rest of my life. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
That's great. Well, let's talk about Maximus posing suits. How did that
Okay.
get started?
Well, I had helped a pro out with some suits and made a couple suits for her, and she said, "Why don't you make your own business?" And so I did, and that was at the end of 21. And then Rashana and I and Ivy kind of became friends and around that time, and so I um, sponsored them in the beginning, and it's just grown since then. So it's been really
Rashana
good. And just kind of
Boswell and Ivy Rain. So
Ivy Rain, yeah.
Rashana is a women's bodybuilder, and Ivy Rain is women's physique. Right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And both of them are Miss Masters O's last year. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
So that made you look pretty good. That's
yeah.
good stuff. What are
Yeah,
some
I
of the
had
other competitors? Go ahead.
this year I had one, two, four, five girls at no, four girls at the Olympia last year. So it was great.
How hard was that to manage all that when you're down there in Orlando running back and forth and they go on at different times? And obviously you're
Oh
just making adjustments, but obviously they need you there just in case that classic
yeah.
wardrobe malfunction.
So that the first day that everybody got there, I just went around and did little final checkups on suits and adjusted anything that we needed to adjust. Ended up swapping a suit for one of them because she leaned out even more than the original. So
Yeah.
I had an extra suit just as a backup for her, ready to go, and she ended up wearing that. But it was great. I mean, I don't think I make sure the suits don't fall apart. I mean,
Yeah.
I solder everything and I reinforce every connector. So if there is a wardrobe malfunction, your suit's not going to fall off.
Well, the biggest thing is that you're there, because so often people will get their competitors will get their suit and they're just okay. Good
Yep.
luck, but to have you there is really special, because you're
Yeah.
there with through the whole process, and something goes wrong, you can do it. And so many competitors don't have that. Once they pick up that final fitting, it just is what
That's
it is.
it. Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
most popular color that you made?
Mm,
Would you say?
blues and golds, I think, have been my
Uh-huh.
most popular ones. Yeah.
Now, give me the lead time process on a suit. Competitor says, okay, my show is let's say the Van Isle show, right? They're doing the Van Isle show, for example, which is on 20 April. When would
Uh-huh.
you start the process of making that suit?
8 weeks ago.
Okay. So 8
You-
weeks is
the
about
most suit makers will tell you 12 weeks. So
okay.
anything under 12 to 8 weeks, there's a rush fee. And that's for, I mean, out of the like me, Radiant Physique Wear, Bikini Lab, those girls, I know we all do a rush fee if there's something that's short notice. So
Yeah.
I mean, and I've had girls that have asked me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, there's no way I don't have the bandwidth to have a suit to you in 2 weeks. So
2 weeks? Wow.
I've had somebody ask me for 2 weeks out. I'm like, no, sorry. I
Wow.
have one that's made if you want to rent one or buy
Right.
one,
But then
but
there's no
not a
chance it's
custom
gonna be
one.
fitted, right? I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So how do
So
you pick no, go ahead.
go ahead.
How do you pick who you sponsor as far as when it comes to suits? Do they
Um,
approach you, or do you just like, hey, I'm sponsoring X amount this season, go ahead and apply?
yeah, this year I just did applications. I brought on the girls that I did last year as well. But
Mhm.
I opened it up for some new girls, and really it was a conversation because I want it to fit for both parties. Like,
Right.
I want the right personalities that represent the brand properly,
Mhm.
um, and aren't going to be like are going to be a good image for the brand, and stand for what I like. So
And what do you like? What do you require of them that you sponsor? Do they need to make a certain
uh,
amount of posts, or what do you
no,
require?
I don't. I just the only thing I ask them to do for me is if they're posting anything that has my suits in it, just make sure that they're tagging me.
Right.
They refer people, anybody that they have, they just do like a referral. Um, but really, it's hard to say that there's one specific thing I like to see with somebody I sponsor. But so I
Mhm.
I will have a conversation with that person and really try to get to know them just to make sure that they're really the right fit. So.
And this year locally, you picked up, well, I should say local, 'cause I'm in North Carolina, but I'm actually 2 hours from Charlotte. You picked up Ashley Blake.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that's great. She is figure,
Yep.
and she got her pro card last year.
Hmm.
And so now she's gonna be competing later this year. So that's great.
Yeah. So she was one I mean, I talked to for probably a good day and a half before I
Mhm.
said, "Hey, let's do this." But I mean, she's got a military background, like family background too. So
Right.
that was great. And I'm all
Yeah,
about
that's phenomenal.
military, obviously.
Yeah. Now,
So,
do you give a military discount?
you know, I do. I
Okay.
also
All
do like
right.
a frequent buyer discount. So
Okay.
for my girls that continually come back, I've got girls that have come back for 5, 6 suits. And so once they've hit like 4 suits from me, they have like, here's a set price for life type of thing is what I
Right.
do for them. So
So what's the baseline price for a suit? Is it based on how it's bedazzled, jeweled,
it's based
or
on the amount of crystals on it and the
Mhm.
design. So if it's like a really blank one but fully encrusted, you're like $800 usually
Right.
is about the bottom end, all the way up to 14 or 12. So
So what's the most expensive suit you made?
14. I mean, it's
14
probably worth more, but I mean, I
1400.
try to keep
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm a competitor too, so I know what it's like to try and, pay for stuff like that.
And that makes it all the more special. Now you do regular clothes for them too. Like if they want to, hey, can you make me something for the photo shoot with Amazon's Fitness Magazine while you're at the show, for example?
I haven't made any clothes yet.
Oh,
I
well,
mean,
there we go.
that might be something I do. I mean,
Yeah, we gotta look at that.
I've done screen printing and stuff like that. I haven't
Mhm.
actually had anything made any custom stuff yet.
Right. Oh, now it's also important to know that you do the guys as well.
Yep, I
So
sure do.
how many guys do you have?
Uh, this last year I sponsored Fred Smalls for the Masters O last year, and then I've got about 5 guys that continually come to me for trunks. So
Now what's his category?
usually men's bodybuilding. I can do classic physique too.
Hmm.
I don't do the physique trunks, but yeah, I get quite a bit of the men's bodybuilding.
So that's the trunks, right?
Mhm.
There you go. And what colors do they usually get?
Oh,
Or does it
all
matter?
different colors. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're all over. I've had red, blue, green, had pink, had orange. Just
Right.
depends on the guy, I guess.
Do you think the suit color really matters?
For the guys or for the
Well,
women?
overall, I guess. Well, I guess you said guys and then the
I
girls as
think it
well.
needs to complement your skin color and
Right.
you. And you don't want it to be so loud that all they're looking at is the suit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So of course you made your own suit, right?
Mhm.
Can you tell me what color you're gonna come out on the Triple O stage with, or you want to reveal it?
There'll be darker blues and chromes.
Because you know it's gonna be fire because this is your
I've
pro
got all
debut.
sorts of yeah, I've got 2 different prejudging suits, and then I've got one final suit that I've done. So, and I've got others I can grab if the background changes or the color of the backdrop changes. We'll see.
Right. Okay. So right now as we speak, um, next week is peak week. How you feel?
Uh, tired, but
Mm,
good. Yeah, it's that time where you just start to get a little tired, but it's I'm feeling good. I'm
okay.
excited for it. So
So early morning cardio still or
still do cardio. Yep. Depending on my day, like today, I mean,
right.
I'm still a mom, so my girls are on spring break, so I have to go do fun stuff with
Yeah.
them.
Oh,
So we went to the roller rink today, and I skated around with them for about 4 hours. So that was my cardio.
there you go. Okay. So their
So,
spring break was the week before Easter. So
yeah, this
they'll be
week.
back in school next week.
Yep, they go back to school on Monday.
So you taking them to the show? How's that gonna work?
Nope, no, they're staying here. They're
Okay.
staying home with my mom.
Okay.
Um, and she's and then me, my brother, and my husband are flying to Phoenix. They're actually
Okay.
driving up here to Utah, and we're flying from here to Phoenix because it's an easy flight. And
Nice.
yeah, I've got, like I said, I've got the videographer coming with us, and he's gonna. His name's Travis. He's Trav the Great is what
Mhm.
he is on Instagram. He'll have some videos from that. So yeah, it'll be great. It'll be
So
really
you
good.
got your own little mini documentary going with
Yeah,
this.
yeah. I thought it'd be awesome to have him come out. I met him through Alicia Young, and so talking to him, he said he'd come out and do that since it'll be kind of a neat experience for me, my brother, and my husband.
Right.
So
And speaking of which, you just had a recent photo shoot with Alicia Young. How did that go?
it's great.
Yeah,
It was right after I got my pro card. So yeah.
yeah, I saw some of the photos, and we're gonna premiere that in the May issue of Amazon. So make sure y'all check that out. Well, you are in Utah. You're 2 hours behind me, so I don't want to tire you out. So, wishing you well and all the best. You gonna check in with me after the show?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's plan on coming back on next week and we'll do a recap. And then we'll track you all the way to Van Isle. So
Perfect.
now, is your husband gonna do Van Isle or no?
No,
That'll be
so
solo all you.
no, so he's gonna do another show at the end of April. He's gonna do the Emerald Cup up in Seattle. So
Okay, in Washington.
I
Yep.
yeah, I also tan for Center Stage Tan and LSR. So I am tanning at the Big Sky Show on the 13th. I'm guest posing there too. And then I've got Van Isles the weekend after that, and then I'm tanning at the Emerald Cup.
So soldier, paratrooper, suit maker, tanner, and of
Coach,
course you own
mom.
your own gym. Mom, you're wearing a lot of hats, man. I mean, you really
Yeah.
are. Very happy for you. Nowhere to go up, but up from here. Um, and where do you see yourself 2 years, 5 years from now?
Well, hopefully, one of the top suit makers with the suits, and
Mhm.
hopefully at least on the Olympia stage at least once in that time. So
That's great. I mean, you got a lot going on, man. I mean, that entrepreneurial spirit is high, and that's great. And again, so thankful that you sponsored Amazon's um, podcast, and of course, you have an ad in the magazine as well that comes out bi-monthly. So happy to have you on board. Now, when we gonna nail down and shoot? Because you're all over the place. I'm in
hopefully
North
this summer.
Carolina, you in Utah, Montana. So this summer,
Hopefully this summer. Let's plan
all
this
right.
summer.
That'll work. So let's plan on. I'll be watching the show, of course, and I'll send you a message, and we come back on next week, and we can talk and go
Perfect.
from there. How will you do your hair?
I don't
Talk
know
to me a
yet.
little bit about your suit color. Do you have your own makeup artist? Are you doing your own makeup?
I've always done my own makeup. I'll probably have it done during Van Isles
Gotcha.
just to try it. But I've always done my own, and I don't know if I'll have it down for part of it and up for the other
Right.
half, but I know it'll definitely be up for the for finals. So
But everything that you got going on, you cut a lot of costs because you make your own suit, you do your own makeup, so and you got on your own gym, so you're not paying the gym fees. I mean, well, I guess you are, but
I do
so this
here.
is great.
I do while I'm in Utah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So
All right, so give me your last words going into next Saturday. We talked a little bit about your expectations, but give me your final thoughts.
I don't know. It's just going to be a great experience, I think. So I mean, you only get to do one debut, so
True.
I'm making sure I'm bringing everything I can for that one. So, and it'd be amazing to have my brother and my husband there as well.
Always important if you can have
Yes.
family there. So that's great. We'll be watching. Michele Bogden, owner of Maximus Posing Suits, sponsor of Amazon's Fitness Magazine, sponsor of Amazon's podcast, gym owner, soldier, paratrooper, which that's important to know that because I know what that's all about, and infantry officer. So she's doing it to death on both sides, and pretty exciting. So all the best. Thank you for your service, of course.
Thank you, Glenn.
Wish you well, and we'll be looking next week. Let's
Sounds
talk
good.
soon. All right.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
I'm Glenn Young for Amazon's Fitness Magazine, and of course, Michele Bogden. We'll see you next time. Until then, celebrate the female physique. Subscribe to AmazonsFitMag.com.